Hey guys, this is Jacob from RoboFlow, here with Joseph today to talk about computer vision and manufacturing. So, Joseph, what do you think about computer vision and manufacturing, and why do you think it's sort of a unique area to be applying computer vision today?
Yeah. So at its core, manufacturing requires quite a bit of monitoring and visual inspection, right? Making sure that you have the right materials, that production's happening at the right time, that people are doing it safely, that you're logging the things that were produced, that you're counting the number of things that are being put on the trucks, that you're tracking the supply chain. All of these are tasks that require some amount of visual verification, call it. And for that reason, there's a lot of added precision and cost savings to be had by allowing vision to be the means by which we track, count, identify, and improve quality. So I think that in a lot of ways, you've started to see some platforms emerging. You've started to see some kind of compelling use cases, um, but it is just getting going in terms of what we will continue to see around all parts of production.
Definitely, definitely. And do you think there's a part of the manufacturing process that, since it's kind of a well curated process to begin with, that makes it uniquely suited to vision, and why, that might be particularly more easy for vision models to be able to identify than, say, other tasks?
Yeah, I mean, so I do. I think if you think about it, like one of the tough things about vision is that like our models are quite brittle, right? Like, so for example, if you are training a model to, we'll say, like track a soccer ball, right? And if you have a camera angle where you're someone that's like sitting directly on the sidelines, but then you have a different perspective where you're like, say, behind the goal, and then maybe you have an overhead view, right? Like from like a blimp. Those are three quite different views where one model probably isn't going to be able to meet all three, or even two of those three. Um, and what I'm trying to demonstrate here is the context and the environment for a lot of problems in vision are highly varied. In manufacturing, what's unique is that's not always the case. So, for example, we have a RoboFlow customer that does work to identify any potential errors that exist in phones and identifying and understanding any potential problems like missing screws, counterfeit batteries, things like this. And they'll take X-rays of these devices and have technicians look for the presence of what a missing screw could look like or a counterfeit battery, some of these known demarcations. Now, what's unique about this is those X-rays do not have a large amount of variation. In fact, the art of even setting up an X-ray is constraining the variety of angle, perspective, background interference that you might anticipate, which means that models, which are powerful yet brittle, can do a great job of picking up and learning that circumstance in a highly effective way. And while that's like just an X-ray use case, a lot of manufacturing is this way, where we set up goods and have them curated at a specific angle or specific perspective, or you're looking for some specific defect. And you can kind of create these conditions where your environment is constrained to identify one specific problem. And that allows the rapid deployment of really successful algorithms, right? So between what I was mentioning earlier of having the visual elements, right? Like it's a highly visual process, and the constrained um, environment, you can start to collect and deploy systems with relative ease.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That definitely makes a lot of sense, and definitely seems like a well constrained environment to be kind of applying these techniques that need a decent amount of curation, so to speak, to be performing well. But yeah, I mean, it all sounds pretty good to me. So let's say I'm in the manufacturing space, and I want to get started applying vision, but I haven't kind of I've never trained a computer vision model before, and I just kind of want to get started. What are some things I can do to kind of like get going, and what are some of the things I should be thinking about as I'm starting to look into problems that I could apply this technology to?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, identifying a good problem to start with is usually half the battle because you want to get like a quick win. Um, I mean, the raw components of what you need for any vision problem are true for manufacturing. Be sure that you have a problem where you have a healthy amount of data. of potential defects. And so when I say a healthy amount of data, I mean, it's kind of a fool's errand to say you need exactly this many images, but you certainly want to have, a few hundred, few thousand potentially of the problem you're trying to identify, and maybe things of the non-problem you're trying to identify. You need to think about, in the manufacturing space, sometimes the quality assurance step requires a level of expertise to know and identify that a problem exists. So, for example, identifying counterfeit batteries, there's specific demarcations in the wiring that I don't immediately know, but you could teach someone to understand and know. And that matters because when you collect your images, to train the model, you need to tell the model where there's potential flaws. And so whomever is reviewing the images and saying, here's what a flaw looks like, might need to have some level of expertise. And that person with expertise needs to be the one that's labeling and adding that context to the images or videos. It kind of depends in this case. So that's another thing to bear in mind, is what level of expertise do you need to be providing the labeling and model input. A third thing to think about is don't let perfect be the enemy of the good in so many ways. So, for example, let's say that you're working on a manufacturing line and there's like a list of like 10 defects that could happen. Instead of thinking, how can I build a model that identifies all of these 10 defects, instead think about it like, if I could identify only one of these defects that's like the most problem-ridden, or maybe one of the defects that happens the most frequently, or maybe the most costly one, and focusing on just starting with one of them, deploying a model to identify that one, and then continue to collect images of the good so that you can see these other types, these other 9 defects, and add those to the model over time. In other words, like a lot of software systems are quite monolithic in some ways in their initial deployment. Machine learning is often thought to be about one of those, but I think we should be taking leaner approaches and starting with that single defect and then adding defect 2, defect 3, defect 4. And pretty soon you've created a snowball and competitive advantage of your own data to build those processes. So long story short, be thinking about a place where you have a lot of data, be thinking about what level of expertise you need for it to be labeled, and be thinking about a way that you can start with a manageable, narrow, well-defined problem.
Yeah, that all seems like a pretty good encapsulation of sort of the state of computer vision and manufacturing. And thanks for joining us today, guys, and happy building. And hopefully this talk was useful as you embark on your mission to apply computer vision wherever you want to, and especially manufacturing.
And if you want any other question, tips, or specifics to the products that you're making, be sure to reach out. Contact us, roboflow.com, and obviously, as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for additional content. Thanks.
Thanks so much.